Yo, what's up everyone? In this video, I'm gonna teach you the secret magic EQ technique that will change the way you mix forever. So you can go from this to this. So I'm gonna teach you this one mindset and this technique so you can train your ears, you can do the right EQ settings every time you EQ, and so that you can identify the frequencies, learn how to hear them, so you can either boost or cut them to make your mixes sound more clean and more professional. And before we start, guys, if you need help with music production, you want to level up and take your production skills to the next level, start releasing music, and most importantly, make money with your music production skills, check the link down below. Me and my team will set up your music business from scratch to $5,000 a month in the next 90 days. So more info is in the comments below, and let's get started with the video. So let's talk about this magic technique. Some of you probably will know it, but for a lot of you, that will be a game changer. So we're going to talk about analog EQ emulations and the common problems that a lot of music producers have with the EQ. So the problem with the EQ for most music producers is really simple. You rely way too much on your eyes. You got to mix with your ears. So often that leads to very bad EQ mixing decisions. I see that time and time again while working with a lot of music producers, my coaching clients, and just like seeing how people make music overall. And that is holding you back from training your ears and being able to identify the frequencies, like what to boost and what to cut. And this is like this is like an iconic example of the curve that I see, you know, people doing like really weird, like a lot of cutting, a lot of boosting. And this is gonna be actually like a quick video, but it will shift the mindset for you. So let's take one bad example, a kick, right? So let's go back to the project, and I'm gonna play you this kick sound. So this is the kick sound with the analog EQs, just first without the bass, right? Listen to it. Like it's pretty neutral, right? Without those two EQs, it's just like way more pleasant, like it's deeper. We're cutting that unpleasant mids and making the kick nice, punchy, subby. This is the character of the kick that I like. But quite often what I see people doing, they would do stuff like, I don't know, maybe like this, maybe even like this, and then just really weird, like, you know, you don't have to do this much, right? And that just gonna sound really... You can see how nice it sounds with those analog emulations. We'll go through that stuff. But just by listening, it's already like pretty cool, right? And then here we can go with real phones and just listen on really nice. It just sounds clean. And with this one, it just sounds dead, right? It's just super weird. Maybe even like if you do like this, like it's still like way too much, right? So again, the whole problem is you look way too much. You gotta mix with your ears. So this is one of the bad examples that I see people doing. So you guys want to avoid that. I'm gonna teach you how to use those analog EQs. Let's talk about another example. So bad example, bass. Here's another example. So quite often I see people doing things like that, but look, that's okay. It's a learning process, and I was doing same things as well, right? So you go to the bass. Let's combine those two like bad settings, right? So that we can do something like, right, something like this. And then let's take the bass, and on the bass, what I see people doing is like you would go like and boost like this, and then you can see it just sounds dead. And you want to avoid doing that. Again, the whole thing and the reason why this mistake is happening for you guys is because you're relying way too much on what you see, and you need to be able to identify and you need to be able to train your ears and hear what you are doing, right? And this is where those analog EQs come in. I want to give you another example, right? This is going to be the lead. So do you see the pattern here, right? You paid too much attention to the visual part of the EQ, which leads to bad decisions. I'm not like by any means against visual EQs like Pro Q3, but you really want to train your ears in the beginning. And the earlier you can train your ears and identify what sounds good and what, because there's like not good or bad, it's more like does it work for the mix or not, right? And often simple stuff works better, right? So let's go ahead and listen to that lead sound. First without the, it's already like pretty okay. But what people would do, like often they would do like a really aggressive cut, like something like this. And then with the combination, the more wrong EQ decisions you make, the more you are stacking, right? And then once it goes through to the delay, it becomes a mess, because these kind of mistakes, they amplify, right? And you want to avoid that. It just sounds really weird, and you can hear, especially with real phones, it's just so the bass is just so off, right? So now let's talk about the technique that I'm going to be teaching you. So the benefit of analog emulations is that you don't have too many options, right? So if you look at what we have here, so you just have a few bands, right? So 360, 700, 1.6, 3.2, 4.8, 7.2, right? They have fixed frequency bands, and you can only use 4 bands for one instance of a plugin, right? So what it does, it narrows down the amount of things, or like the decisions that you can make for the sound. So you just have this like fixated amount of bands and frequencies, and this will train your ears to identify frequencies and mix with the EQ a lot faster. One more big thing about this is usually it takes me less than a minute, like really it takes me less than a minute to EQ the sound, because they sound really musical and they have nice curves, and it's just hard to ruin the sound, right? Let's go here. And let me bring back those analog EQs. I'll break down like what I did for each of the sounds so you guys can understand. But just listen to the kick and the bass again, right? So nice. Really cool, right? And then we go to the lead sound. And then let me break down what I did. So what I did here is I boosted a little bit of 200. And we can do this, this one I really like. I boosted 200 on the lows here, see without delay. I boosted a little bit of 360. Like again, you can boost and cut at the same time, it doesn't matter. A little bit of 300. So you can even hear that I'm boosting a lot, like 9 dB, but it doesn't make the sound like really that bad, right? Just makes the sound a little bit fuller. right? You can see it's just hard to ruin it. So if you narrow down, if you limit yourself to using those EQs, first of all, you will learn what frequencies you need to boost to cut. You will like train your ears to identify that. And then you can see here on I'm not even sure like we need that boost, to be honest. Something like that is cool. And then we remove that EQ. I know like it's a little bit too much now, but we can cut the... You can see there's a lot of low ends. So you can really quickly dial in the right settings like this. Like, it doesn't mean that you cannot cut your sound, right? Because still, this sound, since it's like a very digital, we can be more aggressive. Right, but I'm just using the low cut here, really, right? I'm not doing... And then once I bring back another EQ, which is going to be SSQ, this one is actually, it doesn't have like fixed bands. Now the sound is perfectly dialed in, right? Maybe we can... And then that's it. So usually those two EQs, one after another, it's already enough, right? You can see how good kick and the bass sound here together, right? Let me break down the same thing on the kick, right? So what I'm doing here is boosting a little bit on 100. Oh, this one is not even doing that much. We can do like a really nice, really deep kick, because I'm liking those kind of kicks. Oh, check it out. It's so good, so good. It's just too many mids, too much mids. And then we can fine tune maybe 200. I don't even need, like, I don't think we need to boost on the lows. A bit more punch on 700. A little boost here on, and then another SSQ here. I like the combination because this one has fixed bands and the SSQ. Those plugins are free, by the way. I'm going to put the name. Even just with one EQ, it's already like so good. Now with the drums. I like when the kick is just so subtle, so soft, so deep. Maybe, yeah, I think we don't need that much of like 1.2 is max. Yeah, here as well, just a little bit. And same thing here, right? It's 120. It's like a bit too much. So we can reduce that like this. Do you see how easy it is, right? I'm not really thinking, like, and then you're using your ears more because this is not very visual. Okay, so this is the EQ technique, and I can absolutely guarantee once you're going to start using those EQs, it will be so much easier for you to EQ, to train your ears, and to identify like how to actually EQ the sound and make right mixing decisions. So once again, if you need help with your music production skills, if you want to start making money with your music, if you watched this far, check the links down below. Let's work together, and I see you guys in the next video. Ciao.